So culture defines motherhood, and our mothering is the thing that we actually do. So if culture defines motherhood, then what are we talking about? And what I'm saying is that culture defines who is supposed to be doing the mothering, like who's supposed to be doing the caregiving, and who's supposed to have all of the, kids' shoe sizes or whatever in their brains and all of that. And most of that is handed off into the mother. The expectation is that mom is going to be the one doing the things, to the point that, school will typically call mom before they call dad, or other moms will call mom before they'll reach out for dad, thinking that mom's going to be the one to do the things. And, hugely that's true. In my mothering years, there were dads who showed up and participated and did some of the things too. But by and large, I communicated with other moms. And that was because moms were the ones who were supposed to be doing these things, right? Moms were the ones who had all the information in their heads. They had the plan for the day in their heads, their own plan for the calendar for the day and all of the kids' stuff in the day, and then trying to make all those meet up and match together. So culture defines who does it, and culture defines who tells us what to do. And in Western cultures, it's often that it's driven by experts that tend to be men. And so if you look at a lot of the parenting books, especially if you go back a little bit, like when I was starting my parenting 20 years ago, a lot of that was the men had written most of the books. And so these experts, while that information is often really useful, it's helpful to know. But the thing is, with the amount of information, especially now that we have with the internet at our fingertips, we have to practice discernment. So what's right for us and our family? And what do we actually need to do? And what actually can belong to someone else or can be left unplanned, untended in some ways, and might still occur, right? So I got caught up in a lot of the, kids have to know they're special, so you have to do these fantastic birthday parties. And when my kids were little, oh my God, I made the most amazing cakes that they probably didn't care about. And I remember a friend at some point very lovingly telling me that I was really working too hard, right? That I was trying to make everything special, and that all of that planning and stuff landed on me. And so especially as we come up on the holidays, I highly recommend figuring out what the most important thing is to you and focusing on that and kind of letting the other things go. So, and then that determines for you what your minimum standard is or your minimum care is. And don't forget that discernment is a huge part of this, because if you just think of the surface of it, of course you want everything to be special for your kids. Of course you want them to have what they want. Of course you are trying to do all the things so that they remember these holidays in this really sweet way. But really most of that comes down to our relationships, and that them having good relationships with the other adults and the other children in the family, the kids having these experiences is much more important than the things that they get or the ways that something is prepared. And while those might, so discerning which parts of your family traditions are important for you to keep going because you really love them and enjoy them and you feel like they make everything special. And then making enough room for the other things, right? So I learned that the birthday cake was far less important than having, more of a facilitated friend experience for the kids. And so I started to make things easier for me by dropping some of those things that I wanted to do to make things perfect, rather than just tending to the event at hand. So hopefully that helps. Take care out there.